Today I'm going to talk about how to fill out the W-4 2019 version for singles. I've also already done the married filing jointly. I'll put the link in the description at the bottom. If this is your first time at our channel or you haven't subscribed, click on the subscribe button at the bottom. My name is Travis Sickle, certified financial planner with Sickle Hunter Financial Advisors. All right, I'm going to jump right into this. This is for the 2019 version, online version. I'm also going to show you how to transfer it to the paper version at the very end. So stick with me. I'm going to pull it up on the screen right now. So this is the 2019 version for the online calculator. I'm going to go through the single right now. I'm also going to put the link to this calculator in the description, and hopefully I can get it up on the screen for you. Go to it. It's super easy to do. Here we go. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to check off that you're single and that you have no other dependents. Click continue. At the very top there, you want to put if you have one job or two, just put one. If you scroll down to the middle here, check off these boxes that apply to you. If you held a job this year but are no longer employed, check that off. That's going to be that first box. It's going to help you adjust your W-4 accordingly. The next one is if you have any deferred tax retirement plans, such as a 401k. Now, if you have a SEP or a simple, you can also check that off and put in the information in there. Also, too, is if you have a cafeteria plan or other pre-tax plans, such as a health insurance plan, that is going to reduce your overall tax liability. So if that's the case and you have one, go ahead and check it off. We're going to leave that unchecked for this video. If you've received a scholarship or a fellowship grant this year, that must be included in gross income. Again, go ahead and check that off. That's that fourth checkbox. If you have any kids, this is where the dependents are going to come into play. Or if you're caring for an elderly parent, then you can go ahead and mark that off. I'm going to leave this as 0 for right now. But if you do have dependents, if you do have children or other dependents, go ahead and check that off. But we're going to leave that as 0. Now, if you don't have any dependents, then the rest of these sections won't apply to you except for that last section, the other credits. Enter the total value of the other tax credits for which you expect to be eligible. Let's go ahead and click on that for a moment. The one that I want to point out that I've pointed out before in other videos is this one right here, the Retirement Savings Contributions Credit. It's very overlooked. It is the Savers Credit. I'll put a link in the description at the bottom to the Savers Credit video. If you want to learn more about that, go through these credits. If you're eligible for them, do a little research, figure out what those are, and add those credits in. Click continue. Now here's pretty straightforward. The first line that you're going to enter in is going to be your gross salary. So let's say that we make $80,000 a year. We'll put $80,000 in there. Go to the next section. Do you expect any bonuses? If you don't, put a 0. If you get a bonus later on in the year, you can always come back and update your W-4. But if you don't have any bonuses or you don't expect to get any bonuses, then just go ahead and put 0. If you've withheld anything year to date, you're going to find this on your pay stub. So just ask your employer for the pay stub if you've already started to receive paychecks from your employer. But if not, go ahead and put 0. If this is your first job for the year. The next section is how often do you get paid? Is it weekly, every 2 weeks, twice a month, or monthly? Now, the difference between every 2 weeks and twice a month is going to be 24 paychecks throughout the course of the year, whereas every 2 weeks will end up being 26. So it's going to vary just slightly, but you want to make sure that you're putting the correct amount. So if you have 2 pay periods, say the 1st and the 15th, it's most likely that you get paid twice a month. So it's going to be 24. Otherwise, it's every 2 weeks. So we'll put twice a month for this video. Now, I do want to point out this section, this next section that picks the date that you're starting. Now, if you started work on January 1st and expect to work the full year, then you can just leave it as is because it defaults to January 1st and December 31st. But if you start your job after January 1st, say maybe after 1 or 2 pay periods, you want to not only adjust it. So let's say that we're going to start our job on February 1st. We put February 1st up there. Now, if you expect to earn $80,000 over the course of an entire year, then you want to make sure that you're going in and adjusting that $80,000, especially if you're not working the full year. So again, if we left it at February 1st, then we would want to divide $80,000, divide that by 12. That means you're going to make $6,666 per month. But since we're only going to be working 11 months of the year and not the full 12, we want to multiply that by 11, which would be $73,333. So while on an annual basis, you might make $80,000 if you haven't worked the full year, because remember, taxes are on an annual basis. So we want to make sure that we adjust that. So I'm going to go back and put this as January 1st, just so we can see how this all works out. So if you have any other taxable income, and if you click on the link, it's going to tell you exactly what it is. This is looking for tips and net self-employment income. So if you have a side job that you're bringing in income, you want to account for it, that is the section that you're going to put it in. If you have received unemployment compensation, that's that second box right there. And if you've entered, and then the third one, enter an estimate of any other non-wage income that you expect to receive in 2019. We're not going to get any other income, so we're going to leave that blank. Now, the adjustment down here is specifically referring to the deductible IRA, and that is a traditional IRA. So if you have a traditional IRA and you want to put, say, $6,000 into it, because that's the contribution limit for 2019, that's where we'd put it right here, which will ultimately reduce your overall taxable income. If you don't have anything into an IRA, then leave it blank. We're going to click continue. Now, if you have, as a single, if you have more than $12,200 in itemized deductions, fill out this section. Otherwise, you could take the standard deduction, which is the default here. So we'll just go ahead and click continue. So here's the results page for the 2019 withholdings calculator. We've earned $80,000, and you can see right up there on the first line, based on the information you previously entered, your anticipated income tax for 2019 is $10,780. That is your estimated tax liability based on the information that you provided. Now, what you want to look for is there right there in the middle where it says you should enter the following number of allowances on line 5 of your W-4. For the only job you entered, it's one allowance. And now this example shows one allowance. So you want to put one allowance on your W-4. You can see there's a nice little link there that brings you to the W-4. And then you can go ahead and fill out this section. Now it's pretty straightforward, and I can't fill it out here on my iPad. So I'm just going to tell you that you want to put in line 5, which is right there. That's where you want to put the one allowance. Now, the rest of it is just your basic information, but this is the only part that you need to give to your employer. So put your name, put your last name, your social security, your home address, your city, town, state, and zip. Mark off in section 3 right there that you are single, because that's what we're going through today. You're single. Put in line 5, put the one allowance or whatever applies in your situation, and then go ahead and sign where it says employee signature, date it, and give it to your employer. They can most likely fill out boxes 8, 9, and 10 on their own. You should print out this page right here. This is the results page for the 2019 withholdings calculator. So if you do have a question, these are the answers and all the inputs that you put into this calculator. So print it out, keep it as a PDF, and store it away if you have any questions later on down the road. Come back to the W-4 calculator if anything financially changes, or if you get a bonus, have a dependent, if you move, get a new job, any of those situations, it's okay to come back to the W-4 and adjust it accordingly. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe and leave your comments down at the bottom.